Is that Liv and Raquel?
Hey, guys, we're here at the Paint Square Circle. We'll talk about why Liv, Morgan, and Raquel didn't attack Jade Cargill. We are going to get more into it. You guys get the likes as we come to the Paint Square Circle. Now, we understand that there's been an updated version of what's been going on of who attacked Jade Cargill. This was on a recent episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Nick Aldis talked to Bianca and Naomi about it. But let's dive more into it. Let's get the likes up. About what's been discussed long enough. Who really attacked Jade Cargill? Now we know that this happened back in November of 2024, end of last year, pretty much. But we got to find out who finally attacked her. What does it come down to? Who did what? What's the whole reason behind it? Because we need to get to the bottom of it, right? And this thing we're trying to figure out who did this to Jade Cargill. Now I know that Nick Aldis, when he met with Bianca and Jade, because he be getting them updates, every couple weeks on SmackDown. So he finally played the footage of the possible attacker. You guys remember this on SmackDown. And now we're gonna get down to who did it.
Is that Liv and Raquel?
So that's what a response of Bianca and Naomi of what Nick Aldis played for them. So thing about it is, yes, we did see Liv and Raquel. Yes, they were there. According to the whole footage. So they were there because Nick Aldis played it. But the thing about it is, that doesn't mean it was these two that did it. That's not the case here. That don't mean that these two necessarily did it. Nick Aldis is going off what he said, but he didn't play the whole footage. And the thing about it is, it's not those two that did it. That's my thing. It was not Liv and Raquel that did this. It's not. But let's go down the list here of possible people. Now that we've been an update of Jade Cargill's attacker. So let's go down the list, shall we? Now I know I came up with some conclusions. I try and narrow it down. Is it Bianca Belair? No. And because no, she did not. Besides her having a matchup at the time with Jade Cargill being attacked, Bianca is a very, very hot baby face still. She's still over with the kids, the young girls, the braid. And if anything, I don't see her necessarily doing it because she don't have the most to gain. Bianca was one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions with Jade Cargill. Let's not forget about that. Now, unless she was constructed to get the belt off Jade, I don't necessarily see that being the case here. I just don't. I don't see that being a reason. Because for what it's worth, Jade and Bianca, they definitely dominated as a tag team. They were actually named the best tag team of 2024. Out of the whole all tag teams, men's, women's, WWE, all the wrestling promotions, you name it. So to say that says a lot. And people may not have liked Jade and Bianca. Some may not like them as a tag team. For whatever reason, these two last year, they really did dominate. So Bianca didn't need the tag team belt. So she had nothing to gain for it. Unless she wanted a brand new tag team partner. Maybe she got tired of carrying Jade. whoever the case may be, I still don't see that being the reason. So, not Bianca. Let's go down the list. Talk about Naomi. Now, Naomi, who is currently one half of the tag team with Bianca, she did say on here, she said she clears her name from Jade Cargill attack on social media in the case of the IWC, which is ignorant or idiot wrestling community of Twitter/X versus Naomi. We jury find defendant not guilty. Now, she said a good case there, but despite her saying that, I don't see her doing it either. Now, we could say it could be a argument that maybe she did to claim the tag team belt. She knows she got back. She's with Bianca now. But I don't think with this bond they have with Bianca, Jade, and Naomi, I don't think Naomi would do that. A lot of people want Naomi to even turn heel, and it's not going to happen. It's not. It's not going to happen at all. Not at all. So I don't see that being the case either. I just don't. Because they do have a good bond. I don't. They call them even the big three, I believe, of these three women together. So I don't see that happening at all. So I would say Naomi, it could be a possibility, but not a strong one. Maybe a mid possibility. Like I said, these girls definitely was on in sync with each other. They did win at WrestleMania 40 last year. So I don't see that being the case. I don't think they did. I don't think that's the case. So Naomi, I give a no. Let's go down a list of more people. Now, of course, the people that were highlighted in that footage, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez. No, wasn't these two either. Now, I've noticed with that footage, they didn't link it up to one person allegedly attacked Jade. It's two people. I don't see Liv Raquel doing it either because at the time, Liv Morgan, her and Raquel, yes, they were. Raquel had just came back. She just came back for, from her skin, issue to help Liv Morgan, who's the women's world champion. Now we know that too. But what I'm saying is, whole thing about that, Liv is similar to Bianca. She had nothing to gain. She had nothing to gain getting Jay Cargill attacked. Neither did Raquel. Now, like I said, Raquel just returned back. She just returned back. But we have to remember it wasn't that long ago that Liv Morgan was the women's world champion. So why would she go ahead and get an attack? Have Jade Cargill attack for what? She already was champion. She has the title. She had and she already had her enforcer in Raquel Rodriguez. She had Judgment Day. She had it all. Why would she need to do that? That don't make sense. So she's similar to Bianca. You already had a belt. So it made no sense to do that. So those two are out as well. Those two are out. I don't see that being the case. It don't make no sense of why they would do that. I don't see it. It don't make no sense of why Liv and Raquel would do it. Raquel had just came back. Raquel was already, remember, she was already after Rhea Ripley to make sure that, Liv Morgan retained her championships. Why would they worry about Jade Cargill, especially being on opposite shows? So that don't make no sense of why they would do that. I don't see that. So I think that's kind of far fetched. They're doing that to fool us. They're doing that to fool us, to make us think that's them. Because think about it. We saw Liv and Raquel We never saw them. We never saw them on footage attacking Jade Cargill. There's no proof of them attacking her. We don't see that. I didn't see it. Now that footage is showing them attacking. They just see them walking around. They could just be walking around. They just happen to be around. They're doing that to throw us off. So keep an eye out on that. That's the fool you as the viewer. That don't mean they did it. Innocent until proven guilty. Until otherwise. I don't see them doing this because it would be too obvious if they did. I'm just saying, I want to throw that out there. Like I said before, I'll say it again. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, did they have something to do with the whole? Would it make sense for them to even do it? That's one. Would they be the ones to do it? And I just don't see it. In the words of LA Knight. No. So no. Another scenario. Let's go down the list here. We're not done. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. No. Chelsea Green. I don't think she did it. I don't think Piper did it. Because Chelsea Green, now I know people think, well, Chelsea Green's Women's United States champion. Oh, Jade Cargill was in that tournament. She was taken out. What, did Chelsea Green set that whole thing up with Piper Niven just to get Jade Cargill out, just to get Chelsea to win? No, I don't think so. Because her biggest issue was Michin. She wasn't so much worried about Jade Cargill. Or did Chelsea assist Piper in taking her out? A little far-fetched. It would be the further story if it came down to that, because it kind of makes sense. Did Chelsea, use Piper to take Jade Cargill out so she could win the tournament and be the inaugural Women's United States champion? No, I still don't see it. I still don't see it because that's a more realistic story if you think about it. It's a real more realistic one because we have to remember here when Chelsea Green, when the stuff was going on with Chelsea Green at the time, we have to remember Chelsea Green did and was competing in the Women's United States tournament. She was in there. And the thing about it is she made it all the way to the finals. Now, at the time of the attack of Jade Cargill, it is true Chelsea Green did not hold the Women's United States Championship. It's a Saturday night's main event, December 14th, which was after Jade Cargill getting attacked. Did her and Piper work a scheme out to get her attacked? I still don't see that happening. It'll be very far-fetched in the biggest swerve and loophole in the story to get if that were to happen. But I still don't see in that. Remember, it's two people linked to it. That could be a possibility. This is who I think did it. Now, we don't get down to the last people. Now, people, I said this before, made a video about it here at Pink Square Circle. Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Yes, these two did it. Because we have to remember, what did Jakara and Lash have to gain? Everything. Because at the time, Jakara and Lash were bouncing between three shows. They originally was on NXT, on Raw and SmackDown. And they say in wrestling business, if you want to make a name for yourself, you got to do it at somebody else's expense. And they are not, think about it, they're not established of where they're not on the main roster. They don't have an established spot. Maybe they want a spot. They did this to get a spot. And that's to take out Jade Cargill and to put these two in a spot and make, so they could get a name for themselves. Now, we haven't seen Jakara and Lash on TV in a while. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen that in a while, so maybe that could be the case here. Maybe that will be. Maybe it's to help because I still think when they name the attacks of the people, it's always someone you least expect. It don't never be the obvious. It's the ones that's not so obvious. That's what I think it's at. So it could be that it could be the case here. It very well could be. I'm not gonna rule it out. I'm not gonna rule it out at all. Um, and we got to think about it too. It could be a good matchup in the future. So we got to think. We got to keep that. Also keep that in mind. But I do see the meta girls have something to do with it. They matter. They gotta make a name for themselves. And remember these girls, Jakara and Lash, they've been one tag team gold. They've been one to come at Bianca and Jade for quite some time. That's no secret. No secret at all. We know that because it has been demonstrated more than once, more than twice. So we've seen that. If you think about it, we've seen the whole confrontation interaction. We seen on the episode of NXT the way they looked them belts. They won what Bianca and Jay had. These two were a real threat to them. So they challenged. We seen them backstage. Then later on, they had a women's tag team match against these women, and they did not win the tag team belts. So they have everything to gain, and Bianca and Jade had everything to lose. So they did that by attacking Jade Cargill, taking her out, and made sure she was not a threat anymore. But you
Now, one more dynamic duo I have not mentioned is Nia Jax, the former WWE Women's Champion, and Candice LeRae. Now, we know for several months these two have been teaming up with each other in tag team matches, backstage segments, being together alongside, Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton had their feud where they started to have a rift. Now, we know we seen them. They was in the War Games match together. They always together on SmackDown. The closer Candice LeRae and Nia Jax got, the more distant it got between Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton, who eventually cashed in her Money in the Bank contract on Nia Jax to become WWE Women's Champion. Now, the connection here I could mention to that, yes, Nia Jax prior did have a Queen of the Ring tournament match against Jade Cargill last year during a tournament on SmackDown. Now, we know that Jade Cargill's daughter was out there. Nia Jax said her, Jade sucks, whatever, and she calls a DQ on Jade. And Nia Jax will go on to win the Queen of the Ring tournament, hence why getting a women's title opportunity at SummerSlam, defeating Bayley for the WWE Women's Championship. But Nia has nothing to gain here. It wasn't her and Candice. Nia got Queen of the Ring. She got her title. And now she's feuded with Tiffany Stratton. They're going to have a match at Elimination Chamber. Candice and Nia versus Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton. Her feud is not just with Tiffany, which is done, but now she's more likely going to face Trish Stratus at WrestleMania 41. So Nia Jax and Candice LeRae are also out of the mix of being the possible attackers of Jade Cargill. So that would not be the case here. But I just have to say one thing. This storyline, I really lost interest in this storyline. It really was not like it should be. I just want to say, first and foremost, this was a great storyline when we first saw it back in November. It looked like it was really going somewhere, and it could have been the biggest, if not one of the biggest storylines in WWE alongside Bloodline, Judgment Day and others. This storyline has really taken a big, big dive because WWE have prolonged this too long. They couldn't who the attacker is. We even forgot about it at one point. Now, names I did not mention of possible attackers could have been, we could have had possibly Jordan Grace, but now she's on the NXT brand. Becky Lynch, who we have not seen since she lost the Women's World Championship against Liv Morgan late last spring in May. But it's just a big, big, big letdown. I believe that this storyline, at the end of the day, the result of who attacked Jade, it's going to be really, really foolish, and it's going to be real IWC type of bookish, if you know what I mean. Idiot wrestling community. It's gonna be real silly. So I don't think it's gonna be a real good story anymore because they waited so long. I wish they had really stayed on it, but we see that's not the case. They're gonna have some silly thing. If it's Liv and Raquel for real, I'm really not gonna be happy about that because they already took out Rhea Ripley. They ran that story with Liv and Rhea taking out Rhea Ripley already. Remember, she was out. They said she had head damage or brain damage, whatever. So I hope they don't run with that again. If they do, I'm not going to be happy about it. But you guys let me know what you think. That's all I have for why Liv Morgan and Raquel didn't attack Jade Cargill. You guys click the links below. Until then, guys, I will see you guys later.